Welcome to the Geeta Chopra Show. This is your time to heal naturally. Embrace nature's healing energy. Get back in tune with your higher self through yoga, meditation, healing foods, living in balance, healthy relationships, and harnessing the true power of prayer. You are powerful. You are loved. And you can do it. I am Geeta Chopra, and let's heal together naturally. Welcome to this week's episode of the Geeta Chopra Show. My guest today, Priya Kartik, empowers people to succeed in her mission. Priya is an entrepreneur, mentor, motivational speaker, certified professional coach, and life coach, as well as leadership coach. She founded Enspire Academy to help people influence positive outcomes through effective communication and leadership. Priya's contagious positivity and her creative techniques have benefited 2,000 plus clients to accelerate their success. Her career as an engineer with a management background and working across geographies provided unique experience in interacting with people from varied age groups and ethnicities. She believes in giving back to the community through her outreach projects and creating leaders for a better tomorrow. Join me in welcoming Priya Kartik.
Well, glad to be on the show.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here. We are excited to hear from you. And I definitely want to talk to you today about your Enspire Academy, which you founded, where you have students, and we're going to have you talk more about that as we progress into it. But let's just start off with a general introduction. What motivated you to start a career as a coach?
Well, I started off as an engineer. I was in the manufacturing industry. And after I did my MBA, I started off with working in the industry. And that's when I got the opportunity to train a lot of people, especially on the engineering background. And I vividly remember there was one college student I was working with had to do a big presentation for a conference. And he was fearful, shy, a lot of questions that was coming up saying, okay, will people like me or will they judge me? And that's when I thought I could help him out. And it was more like a hobby. And I started off boosting his confidence, helping with presentation. And within 2 weeks, we were able to make progress so much. And he was able to be more confident, able to come up with great presentations. And that's apart from just making that transformation. What gave me was immense satisfaction. And that's when I really started off thinking about, oh, probably I need to be doing something like this.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful to do that. And so let's just talk about, I know you said you're a coach and we talked about it in your introduction. So why do people actually need a coach for people who are listening out there?
Whenever we ask a lot of successful people, that's one thing people ask when people become successful. Okay, what contributed to your success? There are a lot of answers that come up. Oh, I was hardworking, I got the great idea, or I was in the right place at the right time. There are a lot of things that come up. The one thing that also comes up from each and every successful person is I had a coach, I had a mentor. It's very important because what we as human beings, we evolve. That is what I believe in. We evolve on a day-to-day basis. Our mindsets change over a period of time. The way we communicate, even the vocabulary that we use over a period of time changes. And that is what makes us a better human being over a period of time. And all of us have goals. And in that journey, we are constantly evolving. Our goals constantly change. And at that time, a mentor or a coach is more a guiding light. And that way, we are able to guide people so that they are on track. They are able to match their evolution here in their mindset and their goals so that they are on par. To put it very, very precisely, I would say A coach or mentor is nothing like a mirror that you have in your hand. Look at yourself. They'll help you look at yourself, to be more precise. It's very needed.
Wow, very, very well said. I like a lot of the answers in there, a lot of wisdom packed in it. You said a guiding light and coach or a mentor. So, and just even for my own life, I know I've worked with a lot of fabulous coaches, not in a formal capacity, but looking back and realizing those people were my coaches, whether they were just people at church or in the community or successful people. And I think that's also important because, like you said, we're always evolving as human beings. And there's people who have done things before us and they've already done them, and they can tell you their experiences, lessons, challenges, and kind of what to avoid certain paths or mistakes as well, and just wisdom from the whole situation. So I think it really takes humility and strength to do that, and to admit that we can all benefit from a coach, even if you're the president. And the president actually does have wonderful coaches. So it just goes to show that's just it's a good system to have in place. All right, well,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
think you nailed it.
Thank you for being a good coach in the community. Now my next question is, in what ways does Inspire Academy help people? So tell us more about what you do at Inspire.
As I told you, I started off coaching, training people, and in that journey, I thought there should be one stop place where we are able to work for success or build success and make it as a habit rather than a one-time thing. So that's when I started thinking about Inspire Academy. So at Inspire Academy, we cater to three levels of audiences where we have three wings. One is for the youth, the adults, and the organization. And with that, what we have is we provide a journey where they are able to make success a habit. So we start off with building confidence. We start off making them confident communicators, then improve leadership skills, and also give them the opportunity to showcase these skills. So we started with learning, practice, and showcasing. So we came up with a step-by-step curriculum where we are able to train, provide opportunity, and also provide certification for future leaders.
That's wonderful. That's great. And I'm really glad you're doing all of these things. These are truly a blessing to the community. And I think that the children you work with have also done amazing things.
Yeah, I know. The thing is, it is a pleasure. We have had before, and I think you would have witnessed some of our people talking also. So I think it is a pleasure having you in with our events as well.
Oh, yes. And I like what you said and how you train them, that success is a habit. I like that. I'm going to definitely use that as a takeaway from today's meeting. Success is a habit. That's worth repeating. Thank you for that. Okay, so let's move in here to my next question. From your experience, what are the roadblocks to communicating confidently? Because I know that that's what you teach, and as you outlined, that's what you do in your academy. You're basically encouraging confidence and for people how to present themselves in a confident capacity, especially in today's world, whether it be in the workplace, academia, whatever have you, or for public speakers. So what are some of the roadblocks people come across in order to speak confidently?
When you ask for the roadblocks that people always face that stops them from speaking confidently, there are many. But the first thing that I would say, one thing, I call it the king of roadblocks. When I say that, you'll be really surprised. It is ourselves. The first roadblock. To start off with, all of us have the capacity to communicate. We do communicate confidently wherever we go. When we speak to our parents, when we speak to our friends, when we are just having a chat, we do know that. But there are certain situations that we are unable to express our true self. And that is not something that we do not know, but we are not able to bring it forward. And that is why I always say any kind of communication is very, very individualistic. And that's why at Inspire Academy also, we have a very personalized approach, and we help identify people, what is a root cause that's stopping them from who they are, and then move on to the training. So that way we are able to bring out that roadblock first. And the second roadblock that I always say is the technique that we use. I don't want to elaborate too much on the nuances of the techniques and other things, but let me put it in a very quick nutshell. Say, for example, we are learning to solve a particular question in algebra or something. And we have all gone through that. We have seen that, we've made mistakes, we've never gotten certain things right. And there is always one teacher who comes and teaches us a technique, a simple technique, which is simple, which is effective. And from that point onwards, we start making mistakes in that. Have you experienced that?
Yes.
And that is where the technique comes into picture. What kind of techniques we use in order to communicate will help get rid of those roadblocks and help us speak confidently.
Wow, that's really eye-opening. That's great. So the coach can kind of shed light on that. Okay, wow. That's really important, I think. It's pivotal because like you said, it's having a mirror. We can't see certain things unless sometimes our ears and our eyes aren't open to how we interact or the patterns, and we all have our patterns, right? So something or somebody from the outside can always see things better than looking in from above to help someone else break a pattern. Great. All right, so what technique can people use to communicate confidently in the virtual world that we now find ourselves in?
Wow, the entire world is virtual right now. Even this talk show, which is supposed to be in person, it's happening virtual. But anyway, I'm glad it's happening. But the communication in the virtual world is a lot more complicated. You ask me, in person is so easy. That's what I would say. But the one thing with the technique part, before I move on to the technique or anything, one advantage in the virtual world a person can have is have the courage to turn on the camera. The one thing, many people who hate me for this because they are so comfortable switching off the camera that there is a lot of advantage in turning on the camera. Because say, for example, if you're in a client meeting and if you're just having audio on, you're able to make a certain amount of impact. The moment you turn on the camera, your presence is a lot more positive. Your presence is felt by the client. It's very easy to communicate your thoughts. So that way you are able to communicate and showcase your confidence. And the second thing that I would say is always wear a smile. That's one thing that I always keep telling everybody is, even though people are not able to see you, even if you're speaking over a phone, now when the video is not there, people will be able to feel the smile. And I always recommend the smile because smiling is one exercise that relaxes your facial muscles a lot. It helps you overcome nervousness. And the second thing, the moment we start smiling, our energy comes up. And that way you are able to create an impact in a very, very easy manner. So always smile.
That reminds me of something I remember from a college and psychology class. Are you happy because you smile, or you smile because you're happy? Right? And I think what you said proves the former, that we are happy because we smile. That's excellent. Well, that's great. And I notice you are smiling as you speak, which is a really important quality and skill to have as a public speaker. That's one of the things we learn, that if you can smile through your speaking, it does come across as more engaging. People will want to watch you and listen to what you have to say subconsciously. They won't realize, but yeah. All right. So let's talk about people who are going on interviews right now. What tips do you have for them in terms of preparation?
Wow, this is the time for interviews, whether it is jobs or internships or college admissions. This is the time when all these things happen. I think that is a very thoughtful question of yours. So one thing that I always say whenever we have interviews, there are a lot of cliched suggestions: be confident, focus on your body language, dress appropriately. All these things, yes, everybody says this, but whenever people come for training, we do cater to individualized kind of training. The one thing that I always tell them is clarity. It's not just about clarity in communication. There is Clarity goes in three ways. I would usually call it as a triangle. First, the clarity, the knowledge about who we are, identifying what we know and what we don't know, our strengths and weaknesses. And the second clarity would be what you have projected about yourself, right? Interview is not the first thing that's happening. Interview is probably the last step. You've already written probably a personal statement, an essay, or a resume that you have already sent across. Have clarity about what you have projected. And the third one is have the clarity about what is expected of you in that role, whether it is an internship or college admission or whichever it is. So this is a triangle. It's once we have all these three corners secure, we are able to face an interview more confidently. We are able to answer the questions that come in an interview in a much detailed and effective manner.
That's great. That's great advice. I've been on many interviews and I've conducted many interviews as well. So it's definitely a good way to bridge the gap of what both parties are looking for. Well said. Thank you, Priya. Okay, so now let's talk about making success a habit. That's your slogan. And how is it possible? How do you do that every day?
Well, it is possible. First of all, let me give you think of a time when probably we learned to drive a car or swim. I still remember the time when I went for swimming lessons. My coach asked me to jump into the pool. The first time I said no, impossible, not this is not happening. And then he started off with training me on the techniques and the skills and other things. And after that, right now, diving is one of my favorites whenever I'm swimming. So this is how we become successful. Whenever I say success, success is nothing but an outcome of a set of skills. Very simple. And that's what success is. And that's why we offer something called inspired leadership. And because success is a journey, it's not a destination. So Inspire Leadership is something where we give a complete journey for anyone to learn the success skills required. It could be confidence, communication, time management, entrepreneurship, or conversational skills or leadership, anything that we offer. And we offer it through practical training. And that's what works. And we have a unique program where we have in-house projects where they are able to showcase, practice it in-house, and also community outreach projects. So which is going to help them, help all the aspiring leaders to do a lot of these projects, practice and learn leadership in the journey. They work on a lot of specific causes with nonprofit organizations, underprivileged and other things, so that they are not only able to learn, but take it as a journey and become better so that when they face the real world out there, they have it all in them.
That's great. And then that's good preparation. So it sounds like you're saying success also equals preparation.
Yeah.
That's right. Good. Well, I truly appreciate that. Success is a habit, and it's something we develop daily. So, on that note, what are some of the community outreach projects of Aspire Academy, or sorry, Enspire?
So when we are talking about community outreach project, as I told you in the previous time also, where we do a lot of these ongoing projects. The one thing that is the first thing I would say is SWAY, SWEY. It is called Speak, Write, and Express Yourself. It is a communication contest. I would start with this because it is coming up in March. And it is a fundraiser for local nonprofit organizations. It is organized by our youth leaders. It is 100% taken by them. And Inspire Academy sponsors it. And they work on that. It is an online communication contest where we work on any age group from kindergarten to college students. They appear in the contest, they get trophies and prizes. And whatever fund that we raise in this is completely donated to a nonprofit organization. That is, each and every year we help a particular nonprofit cause. Last year we did education. This year we'll be working on a lot more mental health and old age because COVID has affected them a lot. So that is what we do. It's the annual event that we do. And the second community outreach project is the Influence, where our youth leaders speak up for a cause. They're brand ambassadors for a cause, and they help to do something for the cause in the form of the community outreach. They could be passing bills, or they'll be volunteering, getting more help. And that is the one thing. And the third one that we would do is called Hope, which is, again, our youth leaders come and help the underprivileged and help them get all the services, whatever it could be, tutoring, mentoring, classes that is offered 100% free of cost, so that they are able to get the value that other people can afford. So these are the three major community outreach projects that we have.
Good. Great job. Well, keep it up. It's good to know that you're doing all these wonderful things. And what is your advice for youth regarding achieving success?
I would say the current generation, the youth especially, they have gone through a lot because they have faced a pandemic in their young age, which we did not go through. One thing that I have always seen right now, what they are going through is everything is virtual. They are the people who love to socialize, talk to friends. That is not happening right now. And they have probably planned a lot of things, especially the middle school, high school, and the college students. They have planned for a lot of things. Could be volunteering or internships or getting a job. And this pandemic has taken away all those opportunities, and everybody is stuck at home. And for those people, what I would always say is focus on what we can do rather than what we have lost. And we have many people, we hear a lot of news that people go into depression, people are frustrated because of this. Yes, it is frustrating, but as long as we keep our focus on what we can do, we are always on the positive realm of life. And each and every moment, I always say, of course, saying is easy, but practicing takes a skill. Whenever we are looking at ourselves, if we are thinking about what we are doing something rather than complaining about something is not happening. So as long as we are doing something, we are on the right track. So keep doing.
All right, so there's power in action. And I believe there's also power in making a decision. There is a power that comes behind making a decision that supports you and backs you up, and you get a lot of energy behind it. And I really believe that's definitely on the pathway to success. And that goes along with what you're saying. It's taking the action, right? In order to take the action, you have to take the first step to make the decision. And a lot of people get butchered at the decision making step. So well, thank you. Though that's definitely great. I hope the youth have heard that advice from Priya. So thanks for that. And my last question is you for the entrepreneurial aspect. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs, given your vast entrepreneurial experience?
I love entrepreneurship. I love teaching entrepreneurship as well. The thing is, one thing I always tell the aspiring entrepreneurs is to not procrastinate. One thing that people always do is they probably have an idea, however young they are, they have an idea. They always wait for the right time, the right opportunity, the right opening, and everything. That procrastination, it kind of takes away the fire in them. So never procrastinate. Start young. It's okay. There's nothing called too young or too old. Today is the right day. Just take the next step forward. The second thing that I would always say is have the fire. I always think that we have an idea, keep the fire on, constantly thinking about it. The passion is going to fuel the fire, and the fire is going to fuel the passion. So it's going to help as a positive experience overall. And in that journey, the moment you start taking the next step forward, yes, there are going to be a few mistakes here and there. Never be scared to make those mistakes. And last but not the least, have a mentor.
Right, right. There you go. Well, amen. Well said. That's a great recipe for success. And I really like how you added that. Having an entrepreneurial mentor is just as important as having a coach for the people who are learning public speaking on the academic level, and a life coach. So that's definitely a good summary to your interview. And thank you so much. This was all priceless information. And again, congratulations to you with Enspire Academy, just leading the future generation of young speakers to come up and be more confident. We really appreciate what you're doing in the Princeton community, Priya.
Sure, it is a pleasure having you, having me here. Thank you, Geeta. You're doing an amazing thing. I love your show each and every time. The way you keep the talk show going and your thoughtful comments and everything, it is makes me watch till the last moment. You're doing a fantastic job on that, Geeta.
Well, excellent. We're only able to keep it up because of great guests like you. So, audience, hopefully you enjoyed this week's episode with Priya Kartik. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube to stay tuned for next week. And we'll catch you next time.